In the name of Jehovah Allah, most gracious, most merciful. The method of the charlatans. Device number 1. The realist. You've never done drugs. You're not one to chase women. You were raised by both parents. You're not one for religion. You don't break any laws. You barely watch television. You work 5 days a week, and on the weekends you go fishing. Sometimes the phone rings when you're home. You just miss it. No one calls back. No one leaves a message. One day, for no real reason at all, you get a sensation. You check the locks on the windows, the Bilko in the basement. Something is missing from the room, but you just cannot place it. You know your neighbor next door and the one that's adjacent. You can't figure out what's gone from your home. If you could, you'd likely just buy a replacement. But now you've become like a fiend for the phone. But you answer to silence. Your pranksters are faceless. Still, something festers like sores on the mouth. This feeling that something is different in your house. But, like the unsightly lips that are blistered, people can see that you're clearly disturbed. You know, by the way, that they look at you now. Someone's been in your house. You need to know how. And something else lately, a smell, very odd. Does it come from the nightstand? From the garage? You know they've done something, so you've made up a cure. From your work you come home and barricade all the doors. You're young, in good health, never lacking fulfillment. You sleep in your clothes now. All house lights are lit. You have no family history of mental illness. The charlatans targeted you as a realist. Device number 2. A prophet's existence. The charlatans watch as you head for your meal. They don't whisper, no. They say your name loud, but not clear. Ha ha! Searing swine skins squeal in the nightmare. The Laplax Purim, Moses and Elijah on air. Ice from you, too altered. Yasaboet, the flare. Tuesday, Thursday, tear. Cut the hump out and mourn the dead bride. As the lizard king sings, the end can be felt. Yahweh alive, Sheol in revolt. The wounds can be felt, welts can be cleansed, yes. Compassion, annoyance, buzz in the flights. The fiends rise from the asses, melancholy with ashes. The world sensation, emphatic. Conversation distorted by the static of lying hands. Demeaning menial fruits of the pineal gland confused. The liver's command, shoot the flicker. The charlatans watch from their perch on the tower. You might be their meat, their pulse, and their seed. The charlatans' tricks, realer than all our waking hours. I love you broadcast in the breeze of the cow herd. The charlatan's seat is the highest I've peaked. No one else cares, no one helps when I scream. No one looks, no concerns. No one hears, no one listens. The charlatans serve you, a prophet's existence. Device number 3. Cerberus. The charlatan's tricks force you to number your days, lest one should repeat, and Tuesday remains. You scour the carpet and inspect all the stains. You check in the shower and comb through the drains. The assistant instructed to wait for the aid. Your partners whose word received perfect grade. The desert community's pre-dug up grave. The flesh-eating virus the charlatans made. The Necromacon's chapter on hieroglyph slaves. Game set and match, a window in flames. The comforter matches, it's set on for a wall. Game animals hunted, the charlatan's dog. Device number 4. The Charlatans's Trap. Fortified fortresses, four-cornered cots. He's not at the door, but the charlatan knocks. Tri-cornered hat tricks, try of the rocks, pillow of stone, from bottoms to top. Electrical staircase collapses and drops. 1, 2, 3, low of me. You failed to comply. Steaming for sodomy, hot showers are shy. Who are my people? Without fear turn your back. Without any cowardice you stand and announce, I'm no longer light, dark sold by the ounce. You scream from the gleaming top shelf of your rack. Iron-lipped curtains pierced putrid knee-cats. You've narrowly escaped the Shard-lai-tans Trap. Device number 5. The Shard-lai-tans Shepard. There won't be any trouble regardless of cops. I know he's a charlatan. I know it. Just watch. Don't live life with such vigor. Don't speak with these words. Eat and sit still. Die. Yield us your furs. The Shard-lai-tans Shepard. Staff stands at the gate. More sheepish than most, the ewe lambs await. The venerable virgins, vivacious in hate, dance with the charlatans, unaware of their fate. You feel the attention of an uncountable audience, like a whistled-at dog, in pitch they just ought to get. You sniff in the corners, they've made you their fool. You check your eyeballs for the pulled-over wool. When all lines are drawn and the sun is at full, boldly the charlatan stands for the duel. Polluted waters now turn into pure fetid pools. The charlatans have made you their running mouth mule. Device number 6. Ambassador of the Blood Moon. What are the charlatans? A charlatan once asked me. What does charlatan mean? From whence are we? These words that we speak, why are they lies? Whose fault is it we're here? Who should we despise? We hate our existence as such, the maggots, the flies. Who introduced who to such pitiful lives? We dwell in the desert, sleep near the warmest of minds. When the heat is exhausted, is it their fault or mine? Some charlatans stay all of the time in the hell we were born in. These are damned by the sun. Can one condemn when milder charlatans run? When we escape hate by destroying your love, are we guilty of sin, though by nature, by force such is done? Of us who break free from our doomed native home, we mean you no harm, though our effect clearly is shown. Will you suffer to teach us, attempt to relieve us from despair? Are you wise to these things? Are you Solomon's heir? Device number 7. Solomon's heir. Human beings are lunatics. By the moon oceans are tossed. However, the charlatans are not of our thoughts. We may be of theirs, though. It's quite hard to determine. Are charlatans harmless? For me, yes. For others, it's hard to be certain. There appear to be side effects most undesirable, like outstanding employees suddenly unhireable. But is it the fault of recruiter or prospect? Or should the charlatans be charged with some crime not on the laws yet? Sometimes at the mast, sometimes at the helm, sometimes there's a residue left on the film. Sometimes I am for them, sometimes I'm against. Like humans, some are told, go, and come not again hence. Some charlatans fore, and some of them aft. Some charlatans left lost, and some right where they're left. I ask you for answers. Teach me or go. Leave. Release me my wife. We don't think you're creeps. I perceive I am like you, if I'm halfway correct, just one of us blind and the other one deaf. I believe we're both curious and like to do studies, but unless asked by me, stop sending your charlatans to make waters muddy. I've signed my name with my tongue, spoke my word by my hand. Kindly send this response to your master. Device number 8. Ding, ding. Remove your dentures. Delay hearing devices. You bite down and listen. Your decision is decisive. So many choices and such a nice list. The charlatan's delicatessen has no prices. Like travelers coming back home from adventure, explicit blacklist boxes and beeps from incense censoring sensors. The choice has been made. Somehow you can censor. The hostess, an experienced expert presenter, all over the place, but when serving the king is allowed. What precipitates next is a queen newly crowned. Will he kneel, even when bold for the crowd? Even the charlatans check what they found. Their many hypotheses form like a cumulo cloud. The hell tours killed hors d'oeuvres for your mounds. Stone-filled scones and the chewing is loud, as the imperfectly perfect teeth break in the proud. You've bored chambers of commerce under the town, a meteor course served, but the water is fouled. You've sold all the shovels and tunneled on down. The charlatan's dinner bell sounds. Ding, ding. Device number 9. High five for the win. You tally your items, the numbers complete. The charlatans tell you to rise to your feet. They tell you, sit down again, now, at once. You follow their directions, put up with their stunts. You take their suggestion to strip yourself bare and roll in the filth and the urine and hair. They tell you, take what you have to your neighbor and share. They tell you to look up at the sun and to stare. You've met their demands and their militant orders. Now they tell you to marry your sons to their daughters. Unspoken commands, unwritten compulsions. Charlatans wagering what the final result is. All bets are placed and all tickets are in. The charlatan's frisbee, a pie plate of tin. The odds have been counted, hedges are trimmed. The charlatans play, but they lose against him. Device number 10. The beam. You know there's no camera or microphones installed, but you look in the light bulbs, you look in the drawer, you look in the microwave, the freezer is stalled. You've checked the appliances and unplugged them all. You relax until you hear the smoke alarm chirp. So starting with that, you continue your search. Coachella is calling. She fiends for your words. The charlatans fleece them, the whole naked herd. The gin and the gins and the lamp both agree. You should probably just pay the charlatan's fee. You would if you knew what the cost came to be. You don't know how they heard you. You just know they have seen. To get a straight answer from them isn't free. The product they peddle comes absent receipt. The warranty voided before you receive. Written off worthless. Unfit you were deemed. A sick, tired, hungry, huddled mass of a being. You can't even have an American dream. You brought to a church where the kids are the theme, locked in a cage while the demon demeans. Bow to no man, stand for none that are mean. Electromagnetic, subsonic screams. You're led like a lamb, repelled like a roach, dragged off by the rays of the charlatan's beam. Device number 11. Between the curtain and the altar, where psychosis and the phenomenon of the miraculous meet, the charlatan's lies lay in wait. They dwell. You wonder if you've fallen unconscious, asleep. Eventually you ponder if you've awoken in hell, an exhibit amongst the inhabitants there, afraid that forever this anguish your soul must now bear. Are the charlatans seeking you harm? If not, they have failed. If they're sending a message, you'd rather it mailed. If they're sending you warning, you fear it's too late. Most what you feel from the charlatans, hate. Love does break through, though, and from the same source. Maybe they're travelers taken off course. Aren't we all? Well, where I'm from, we stretch out our hand when one falls. Now and again they refrain, withdraw. There's a pause. But even then you feel wounds where the charlatans sank in their claws. Device number 12. All roads lead to DEFCON 1. Mandela affected, I'm told by Muhammad, is what we all are since Ramadan started. But don't be alarmed. That man was not really that prophet. The charlatans used an Islamic facadist. He tells you, think fast. The clocks are retarded. I tell him the colors of Papa Smurf's garments. The power of suggestion used as a weapon. Go ask the jinns. Bad sins equals Armageddon. It feels like the charlatans want to reveal dark clouds. They're lonely. They just want to heal. If Emmanuel trumps and fed a minced meal, if a spade's called a spade with its face at the heel, if you're took to the pinnacle then told to kneel, the charlatan might be the man in the mirror, but is probably more likely the man in arrears. Mere mortals aren't meant to make miracles here. Maybe one, but that many? I think someone's poisoned your beer. Yeah, well, I think that the violated vodka you drink has dampened your mind and made your breath stink. As our leaders argue, blood boiled, turning eyeballs pink, the charlatans laugh. The fight makes fragile feet slip in the rinks. They've skidded around us all of this time. No habeas corpus, nothing to charge them with crimes. Just smoke in our eyes and stink in our sinus. Your prophet is clearly as lazy as mine is. But clearly it's true, they both are astute. Is it by God or the genius stroke? They have no clue. But it's clear when it's them, when it's us, when it's God, when it's you. And it's clear when it's these charlatans. We've experienced it too. Device number 13. The Lord saith unto my Lord, have M.R.C.A. Bella buzzed face in a pile of rubble. Your mind is in space, but not seen with the Hubble. The Doppler is shifted, so have the plates. Your eyes are replaced, but the difference is subtle. Up from your submarines, down from your shuttle. Arteries meet veins, now there's blood in the puddle. You've made your case, charlatans now rebuttal. There's always exceptions to each case in point. The charlatans argue, it's not a loophole to exploit. You've christened the cross, but you failed to anoint. You can feel as the universe grows more annoyed. The whole world is watching you jack in the box, emitting expression and picking through locks. Masturbatory immaculate cocks. The charlatan's small chicken cow triple pox. Device number 14. Housekeeper of the Hoards. The charlatans flee from their hometown of evil, ashamed of their forefathers. The wickedest shun their own kin. They take up residence in a home not theirs, found abandoned. The Lord drives them out. To the wilderness they run, wandering like nomads, vagabonds. I nomad, says Jesus. Repent and join us. I prepared a place swept clean. Abandon your tents. Bring your children, your herds, your family, your friends. Instead they bring others more wicked than them. With their garbage and filth and vermin and pests. They plague every mind within your eyesight, but leave you half cleansed. Helplessly, you try to abstain from their scent, but your soul, like a bloodhound, has their stench clenched. It sniffs out and searches the charlatans in hopes of a treat, never tasting any more than its own tainted meat. The charlatans laugh as you seek them in vain. The Lord regards them not, they believe, so they treat you the same. Device number 15. The charm of Don Cutie. The night of dreadful countenance. No longer in need of the fury to fuel the bile and the sugar combined molecules. Ice, water, and vinegar keep all systems cool. It keeps you from freezing from the cold shoulder of the cruel. The number on the lubricant caps can be dialed. It says, line not in service. You persist like a child. The third time you call it, a human voice talks. The receptionist charlatan vocally stalks. He skillfully haggles you to a corner of shame. Think about what you've done and who they should blame. Insulation from elements asks if you're ready. It's only trash on the highway, the charlatans tell me. But you dial the number, the third time's a charm. You tell them your name, the charlatan's not alarmed. Magazine edited empty, burned like a barn, armed to the teeth, rows of sharks have been farmed. The turtle falls and squirms on its back like a pawn. The charlatan penetrates, moistened and warm. Device number 16. Beelzebub's Ointment. You called for a vigil. You're told to stay woke. If Virgil's a poet, then Virgo's the Pope. You've purchased your dagger and pawned off your cloak. You've drawn in your drawbridge and called in your hosts. The charlatans watch your kin drown in the hotel moat. Pluto and Plato philosophize hate as they guard the gate dug into their post. You peer through the window of your fortified apartment, carefully though, not to be seen by the watchman. You think you see something. No, just litter, unimportant. The lack of real action has got you disheartened. Still, you can sense it. You know that they're close. They're back with their schemes. They hate us the most. You now find your room's television remote. Look close at the buttons. They've left you a code. In one of these little amenity soaps, there must be a camera, some way that they know. You feel their eyes upon you, a radio roast. It sounds like they're somewhere preparing a toast. You think, maybe not. Maybe it's God, and that's how he shows love from a distance without being soddened. You give up on that thought, though, because, like most, you think he don't love degenerate drug-using folks. So, back to your watch. Eyes so dry and tired they can't even tear. It's now become morning. You question your visions and doubt what you hear. You're confused by this disappointment. The charlatan sold you Beelzebub's ointment. Device number 17. Spoken Crutches. They all start the same, these hurricane things. The charlatans spinning out yarns with their strings. Pulling up on your arms as your legs lay in waste. Fist up your ass, words melt from your face. Some people pay for this kind of arrangement. For others, it leads to their spouse's estrangement. Back when the shadows could barely just crawl, the nails of their talons took hold of our jaws. To the kids in the crowd, our choice is our own. Both wise men and charlatans know voices are thrown. Noises and lightnings and thunders and such. It's all smoke. It mirrors the charlatan's touch. When puppeteers die, puppets no longer plush. When coastlines erode at the tsunami rush. When darkness recedes and you're caught in its tidal wave clutch. When your back is bent crooked, your spine turned to slush. The godless religions my man-whore has crushed now only serve as the charlatan's crutch. Device number 18. Season of Darkness. Is it the drugs? Have you had one too many? Is it because you are rich and were raised up with plenty? Because you were born without a piss pot? Is it because you're religious, or that you're void of a god? We know that they're there. They're perceived all the time, even without getting jerked off until you go blind. The mentally sound and the troubled alike, out of the manifolds, over the dikes. Crank in a pipe of glass, cranks on a bike. Crank calls on a telephone, the crank-free who love life. The merry, the melancholy, and all in between, the charlatans show you what miserable means. So how can this be? How can all see this race of shadowy figures without their own place? Seasoned with darkness and onto the plates, cooked in the crucible, fresh out the crates. If we cut off our noses to spite our own face, would we still smell the charlatan's savory taste? Device number 19. Rash action of a motionless friend. As you sit and await their next visitation, the charlatans plot. No, they scheme your sanity's dissipation. Vanity's curse, you fear, is in their possession. Have I showed toward them some ill-willed intention? You know that you have. Haven't we all? The minute we notice the acid rainfall, you realize all that hinders its evaporation is the charlatan's nod to our Maker's creation. You get used to the puddles, coagulation. You get used to the acid rain's burning sensation. You make friends with the blisters, the sore abrasions. In fact, your whole life you haven't had such engaging conversations. Then, the charlatans force on you their medications. The best friends you've ever had, the boils, the pustules, gone, simply because the charlatans wish to flex you their muscles. Did they ask you to some grandiose feast of jubilation? Next time, you're resolved, I'll accept the charlatan's invitation. Device number 20. Vigor Concern. Did I miss anything? Did he not see? The charlatan tells you to stand still while you speak. Now that you're bound up in chains and in fetters, put on this straitjacket and clip off your feathers. All beings are like books, because all that we have are the stories we tell, whether happy or sad. Whether tales from the crypt, or the field, or the stall, the sweetest of charlatans speaks for them all. As her soft, barely audible voice leaves the jaw, her charlatans check your vehicle. Nothing's installed. You know what this is. Well, they say that you should. Do the charlatans just assume we think that they're good? Should we know by osmosis they're the wickedest shadows, soon to be roasted like soft summertime mallow? Should we skewer them with sticks, impale on a pike? We can't find them to do so, even if we would like. Like dipping your smoke in the oil of sherm, corpses diagnosed with bloating, when will they learn? Embalmed and then floated, Ganges gangrene with germs, you're drowned by the charlatan's vigor concern. Device number 21. The Covetous Covenant. The deal has been struck. Conflict is frozen. A treaty between truth-seekers, charlatans, soldiers. There's no need for the snow, no need for the ice. The permafrost hit. From this point, everything's nice. Those on the edge get sure confirmation and answers. The charlatans still tell their tales. Nothing's canceled. The soldiers still play all their games in the shadows. Light never again grieves for the long lost. Now they have those. Now everyone's gay, and even their dad knows. Many will laugh at this impossible feat. Many will ask, how can these things be? What's present has passed, the future retained, infused with the gas from our putrid remains, stored in the fat cells, amassed in the brains. The charlatans now live inside of your veins. Device 22. Able to be repeated. Come see the show, the charlatans say to each other. They look on in shock as you slaughter your brother. Their eyes can be felt through the distance between. Revenge will be theirs, you fearfully scream. Save me from this, the fate of the damned. So the Lord shrugs his shoulders and cuts off his left hand. Ridiculous thoughts as you wander off lost. The charlatans nod to you too, as both your paths cross. They've come to inspect closely this thing that you've done. It can't be repeated, they say. Experiments run. They ready the placebo, list check, double blind. There is no control though, just more wasted time. Device number 23. Roleplay. If those you love could change their form to punish you inside your dorm, The charlatans wouldn't hesitate to nail you in and seal your gate. They would help your family change appearance, double-checked in bubbled mirrors. You'd know that you've now been disowned when you're told to pack your things and go. Any refusal, any resistance, and your dear ones express violence. Be aware, it would also be the same if you kept silence. Consensus from your relatives? You have hell to pay and they have hell to give. A charlatan facilitator reminds them Hades hath no fury greater. Never mistreat Mother Nature. The happy thoughts all flee away. Father Timeshare Shadow Chaser. The charlatan cell rolls to play. Device number 24. Unspoken. The charlatans sell you the grandest of hopes, the thing you desire, the thing you need most, the missing piece making you mentally sound. They offer to lease you with no money down. Your payment, just some ridiculous action. You feel like the fool, you get no satisfaction. Again and again, though you're summoned to check in, you look out the window each time that they beckon. They never appear though, that one that you lost. Neither do the charlatans, and neither their boss. They never make good on their unspoken promise. The charlatans yoke you, bit bridle harness. Device 25. Grace Packer. You're in the cell. You're such a fusser. Daydream delegation crusher. The charlatans that have been ushered label you potential toucher. The thought has never crossed your mind, yet your own children you cannot find. You search and search, they must be hid, but yet you never gave a kid. You never left the house before, no substance spent on sadist whores. To dig a ditch, too big a task, so you tossed a child's corpse like trash. Social workers come inspect, but only want your child's sex. The charlatans say you're to blame, a kitty litter toddler's game. Pulling prophets by their necks, across the county, the neck is all that's left. Packed in Graceland welfare check, you've kept the beam and removed the speck. Device number 26. Deforming scheme. The camera is said to capture souls, shuttered dreams and shattered goals. Unleaded X-ray film transposed, the charlatan's true face exposed. You see their faces like totem poles, in stains, scars, and toilet bowls. One's eyeball is the other's Joel's. The top one's teeth is the bottom's nose. The weight of metal is rusted clothes, captures them in picture pose. It grows. With the posture of a little seed, they germinate a little greed. As the love of money takes its root, the charlatans collect its fruit. When bitter pride devours self-esteem, when sweetened rage meets merely meme, man to martyr, mist to steam, maid to madam, princess to queen, the Saint Sanchez portrayed in a plaster bathroom scene, the charlatan's deforming scheme. Device number 27. Personal space. You talk to yourself, the charlatans say. When reading the screen, stand far away. When conversing with friends or on knees down to pray, don't move your lips or the giant may spray. The tone that you take is nails on the slate. The wise man is silent when they're with the great. The fool chums the waters with morsels like bait, drained of your spirit while awaiting your fate. A test of your temper, a trial of taste. Which flavor provokes you, which flavor abase? Just stand where you're supposed to, keep up with pace, racing the charlatans, saving the face. Many things hearken them, inviting the chase. The charlatans invade your personal space. Device number 28. Double standard. Is this how you want to remember our trip? The prophetess asks with concern on her lip. When dreams of apocalypse cradle your cribs, Hitchhiking angels come down from the ridge. Gathered at home are the names from your past. Declare them out loud, but beware their attacks. The ones that you love leave their lattice unlatched, so the charlatans mimic their cranial draft. Under the skin subcutaneous rash, scabies are in, flies mother the trash. Arise and consume and accomplish your task. Push through the fumes, dilate and contract. The sooner the better, the treasure amassed. The charlatan standard, compare and contrast. Device number 29. Sign language. You're talking to yourself again? Some charlatans, not your friends. You squint to read, cataract lens. On the message many men's life depends. They find a weakened host to use, the death toll on the local news. Rudely, they ask if mentally you're sound. The signal lost, it can't be found. Peacemaker's nameplate nailed up bound, the charlatan's scourge a cordless clown. When captions are closed, sign crossed, turn around. Device number 30. Enforcement ancients. Get out of here, wipe sadness clear. The charlatans want happy faces near. Joy and mirth they do demand, though indifference is their master plan. If you're feeling good or great, they diagnose and medicate. If you're feeling bad or worse, they're glad to fabricate your hearse. This must be labeled hysteria, emotional malaria. Mosquitoes bite felt, it stings, they drain. It swells the heart and shrinks the brain. Drug factories with arms and legs, agents in force, the source, the springs. They walk in circles counting strings. The charlatan emotion feigns. Device number 31. Meet your quota. Round them all up and gather them in. The sound of the trump, the hounding of sin. Assemble the armies and rally the troops. It may sound alarming, it may leave you spooked. As terrors touch blankets you, your mind starts to snoop. What if they poisoned your chickenless soup? Maybe they've dirtied your oxenless stall. The charlatan's toxins encompass us all. They mock you on purpose, by proxy they call. They lowball your worth and trade stock on your fall. You grow more aware, your canvas is sprawled, a landscape of darkness, a bladder of gall. To falsehood and lies you have grown more attentive. The charlatans institute quota incentive. Device number 32. The enemy of my enemy. Bacteria, viruses, the flu. The charlatans dislike them too. They breed in wounds, they nest in scars. The charlatans say, they're not friends of ours. How can shadow larvae breed without the dark these demons thieve? The germs, they block the faded light used to cast the shadow shade. Encephalitis swells the brain. There's no room, charlatans complain. Beat seahorses eat the hooves, viral vessels vaguely used. Mucous membranes melt and muse, relaxing porches, collapsing roofs. The charlatans enjoy the shade. The virus reigns on their parade. They emphasize the terrible twos, too little, too late, 200, two deuce. Device number 33. Aroma of coma. You buy something spoiled, you purchase your gross. Maggoted vegetables, edited notes. You might be a menace, maybe comatose. The charlatans garnish you, you're fed by a hoax. Physique of the feminine with masculine busts. Air tank of emergency, zombie on bus. Thanksgiving, harvester. A guinea pig burning the husk. Amazed by sculpted maze. Snow ice and praise, depicted as such. The right of the roses, wrong kind of rust. encoded encryptions elate elegant ooze, a prevalent hush. Chapel noted duly by imperial ivory elephant tusks, pillowed of dreams sign on and touch, the charlatan's heart-pounding, Zionized musk. Device number 34. CCCC. Closed Circuit Correction Center. C4. The watchers watch, but hitherto you've noticed not their point of view. The leopard spots are needed, true, but not to camouflage your screws. Iron-threaded twist-on teeth, tired fetid Christmas wreath. The watchers watch atop their peaks, cocoon chrysalis butterfly tweaks. The charlatans lurk just beneath. Rotting weevil larval reek, teenage shadow people speak. Midnight roaming vampire freak, posted pillar, placed plastique. Though circuit be closed, the TVs still leak. Device number 35. Disarray guarded. Your lover's limbs cut from cadavers, attached to her stitched special patterns. Without a stench, the smell of death, her feet in hell, she preys on guests. A charlatan she must have been, assigned to let the others in. She saves her dog food, needs her dough. She waits to see just what you know. You cast the lot into the lap. She hears her own. It makes her snap. The subpar, under some bar room, ascend to watch the demon's doom. You cast the orb out with the trash, the bait and switch, the shattered glass. Fast asleep you raise your knife, expecting them to save your wife. Blowing eastward wind and chime, supposed psycho creeps behind. The charlatans, they pay no mind, left to die by your own kind. Device number 36. The chemist reaction. The ambulance pass, the sirens blow. The charlatans demand you know. You must acknowledge they exist. They're watching you, they insist. The paramedics pass persistent. The wound is healed, the Jordan cleansed it. Left to die, abandoned in a ditch, the good Samaritan, your twitch. He pulls you out, you scratch his itch. The dinner's water, your sun-chapped lips. Interrogate the alchemist. He's one of them, you're now convinced. They beg attention, more or less, but when asked a question, dodge or jest. Your vehicle has now been towed. You're stranded on the charlatan's road. Device number 37. Virtue cap. The one you miss most must be there in the crowd, but each familiar type face is more like a shroud. One tossed linen mess, one nice folded sheet, seated by age at the table, precisely and neat. New acquaintances remind you of stories once told. They're brothers and friends like your heroes of old. Corpse swarmed with honey bees sweetens the proud, gripped by the beard for to silence the growl. Your filth sprouts a fungus cap out from the mold. Is there one here among us? Lo and behold! The crowd it may throng us, the water may scold, but the charlatans put virtue on hold. Device number 38. Oscillating isolation. The charlatans leave an anonymous tip, homogeneous blotches of poisonous spit. The foxes have dens made with locks on the pit, androgynous boxes sarcophagus fit. They know you've contacted those you should not, technological coffin preventing wood rot. Forged in the fire, etched in the stone, the family you admire, you're told to leave them all alone. Pissed on by the charlatans like cats on a rug, they no longer foster forgiveness and love. Spiritually hermited, aired, dry to the bone, hermetically sealed, pneumatically known. not to be seen like bags with a bug. The charlatans bade you to stay in your home. Device number 39. Benign breath. The charlatans tell you give them the first fruits. Rip it and burn it and flush its dripped juice. Make friends with hic prophecy. Axe to hypocrite roots. Call me a charlatan. You've been one too. They come to your house robed in portable tombs, reflecting your thoughts with a ridiculous stare. They use double meanings to words. They observe what you do. They don't know the charlatans in them. They don't care. You ask when a question, but they won't tell the truth. The charlatan part of them won't let them share. The reptilian subconscious viperous brood speaks to the insects that writhe in your hair. They talk past the monkey brains, but sign like baboons. They sit on your nest egg like lions at rest. When it cracks, when it bear caves in your chest, the eagle will land dead center to clean up your mess. When ink-spilling octopus tentacles connect, the face of a man with the charlatan's breath. Device number 40. Broadband notation. Hotel labyrinth divinations emit natural ministrations. Complaints for lack of sanitation mistook for early salutations. Gene pool drained imaginations, claustrophobic spacious stations transmit without hesitation, feeding off failed aspirations. Missing mouth swabs, reprobation, palate moistened, salivation. Catching dreams through aviation, accepting no cheap imitation. On course with all feared expectation, charlatans block deviation. Off-task broadcasts fail to chasten. Hold your applause. Stand for no ovation. Device number 41. Rock control. Your final hit, your stem or bowl. Their wager too rich, cards you fold. Free base costs, the fortress sold. Freedom isn't free, I'm told. Golden nugget asses fall. Bulging boulders, bashing trolls. Email stalking honor rolls. The Trojan horse's fake humble soul. Ponder them, the water's old. Soup of fungus, tea of mold. Caffeinated carefree coals. The heated liquid's flavor, bold. Gridlocked traffic, empty tolls. Sugar-coated, squeezed in skulls. Truly needed asteroid moles. The charlatans orchestrated rock control. Device number 42. Return entry. Many moons have came and went. Many days are gone and spent. Many weeks have cycled through since you last sensed the charlatans near you. Life now feels tasteless, saltless, bland, without their heavy crushing hand. They've either found a new one to despise, or you've grown accustomed to their eyes. Last time you heard this quiet void, they, without warning, redeployed. You know the moment soon approaching, your heart beats to the fear encroaching. You followed every rule they wrote, each suggestion, every note. Your lungs deflate, your stomach bloats. The treaty surely has been broke. You've counted each and every step. You only meant the most respect. But now you know they have been angered. Your plain shirt is missing from the hanger. All this time no incidents. But now your picture frame is moved an inch. You lay down for a restless sleep, soaked in bed sheets head to feet. Your mind reviews the day's events. Which person in it took offense? You blame yourself. When will you learn? You've brought about the charlatan's return. Conclusion. The RX superscription. What a horrible hell. Caught in the current of reality. Insecure in the nature of your own existence, and unable to tell if you are separate from it or an integral part. You may ask yourself at some point, am I the only thing real, myself and what I've known until now, these inexplicable phenomenon and strange occurrences the illusion? Or is it in fact myself that is maybe dead, or the phony figment intruder, the peeping Tom to a level of reality and existence I am not a native part of? The rich man could see Lazarus, hear his joyful laughter and discourse as he rests happily with Abraham in the bosom of the Father. We too, whether because of natural ability, trauma, both physical and emotional, countless hours of prayer or meditation, drug use, or the cruelty of our executioner's jest, hear the laughter. We see strange coincidence unparalleled in nature, perceive the soft and audible whisper of our name. Speeches we've made in times past, and events thought forgotten, reenacted and recounted by perfect strangers before our very eyes. We become astonished, confused, ashamed and saddened, then confounded once more before the fires of rage burn within us. We beg Abraham for just a single drop of life-giving water, one morsel of knowledge to quench our thirst, to no avail. The most we get are more shenanigans furthering the fury our unsatisfied curiosity foments. Finally, we remember those curious as we, thirsty for love, hungry for life, needful of being noticed. We, in our famished state, forget the adage, misery loves company, as we beg Abraham to show these wonders to our unsuspecting loved ones, holding to a hope that if they too experience these things, this feeling of insecurity, this fear of losing our sanity, will be defeated with strength by numbers. It is then Father Abraham reminds us that they understand less about the natural world around them than we ourselves do, that they have always been closed-minded. Showing them these things would only add to our confusion and drag what's left of the world to hell with us. He's right. We can't drag unsuspecting people into a damnation they are unprepared for, unaware of, and were never even looking for in order to avoid. The gulf is too deep, Styx too wide for Abraham or Lazarus to cross and refresh our soul with understanding. And though told impossible, we resolve to cross this lake of fire, this river of slime, and claim the nourishment of knowledge our spirits fiend for. True, we have yet to witness from this side of the stream anyone cross over for any reason. But we've heard rumors and have been told legends of those who have occasionally navigated to this place of interest, spoken to these masters of delusion face to face, and exacted answers. The mere thought of encountering even the lowest in the ranks is enough hope to forget our thirst as we submerge ourselves in the unknown depths of the psyche and forge our way across. As we proceed through, repeating the same processes that landed us in such a cursed abode to begin with, we begin to taste the facts that have not yet been etched definitive. More and more we see larger miracles, hear louder voices, and a combination of laughs growling all the more welcoming and all the more sinister. We feel the touch of these unseen tormentors as they caress our skin from their dark abode and run their frosted fingers through the locks of our hair. As we attempt to cross Styx without caring or coin for fare, we unknowingly venture ever so deeper into the rich man's Gehenna. So rich in knowledge already, so privileged to see the miracles that many righteous have prayed to see and have not, our lust for more causes us to disregard others with this need for knowledge. It compels us to introvert for fear of looking insane to the blind and profane, instead of sharing our experiences responsibly with the hungry, tired, huddled masses. Realizing that the closer we get to this other plane of existence, though we feel them brushing past us, we get further away and will never get close enough to embrace whoever may be behind our feared delusion. Many take their own lives in attempts to make a final leap of faith. This is ill-advised. If we struggle to understand and grasp these things both physically and mentally while alive and seemingly capable, how much more unobtainable must they be when shackled down by the chains of death? Others ignore altogether the magnificent view of the promised land they have been given out of fear of the unfathomable events that have transpired already throughout their journey. In fact, they go a step further and deny the reality of their experience, and in the process delude themselves into believing these phenomenon, these charlatans, to be only drug-induced hallucinations, or the product of a broken mind actually in need of medications. The irony of drugs being both cause and cure is laughable, though not as laughable as the thought of mind being both facilitator and observer. Drugs may be powerful, minds may be weak, but what we experience is not in our heads. It is tangible, physical, with real-world repercussions, flesh and bone residuals noticeable to individuals otherwise unrelated to the circumstance. Those with ears to hear, listen. Those with eyes to see, look and consider. There may be a day when we take notice of one traveling this same road as we, spiritually beaten and psychologically robbed by those ignorant of mercy and greedy for squalor. It is our responsibility not simply to take note and continue on, thankful that it wasn't us, but to lift that one out of the ditch they were left to decay in, and warn them of the method of the charlatans. Nickelbags, Jehovah Allah, Allah Baruch Hashem.